Endaro Mahanubhavudu Ndariki Vandana. This means we salute all the scholars and educators in this gathering. Namaste. So it is our pleasure and honor to welcome you all to the Guru Vandana program. Especially for the teachers from CARMEL Play School District, we are kicking off Guru Vandana program officially today, not tomorrow. That email which came out today, this morning, I think it's probably precursor to our event. So welcome all. So mankind carries a very unique perspective, and it basically carries a special responsibility in that it is believed to be most spiritually awakened soul, with the capacity to truly mutually respect and understand each other in its own uniqueness and its own individuality. So the Namaste, what it means is the divinity in me bows the divinity in you. So the next time one of your students or anybody of Hindu faith says Namaste, they're doing with a great reverence and great respect and great love. So just keep that in mind. So it's not just a simple gesture. They truly mean the divinity in you. So how many of you have attended this program a few years ago? I know we've been doing this for 3 years. Okay. Oh, repeat offenders, we love you all. So for the newcomers, you are in for a very good treat. So we'll take you on a journey through India. So you get to actually experience what your kids do outside school. So you get to see them play Indian rachnas, what we call them as Indian notes on Western instruments. Anybody who is basically a band director or an orchestra teacher, you would love that. You actually get to see your little ones actually dance to Indian tunes, even the shy ones too. So you are definitely in for a treat. So that's before I talk about the event itself. So let me talk a little bit about our organization, who we are. You must be wondering, what is this Hindu, right? So we are, the organization name itself is called Hindu Swayamsevak Sangh. The first word I don't have to explain. The second word, Swayamsevak, is basically somebody who self-motivates them to be a volunteer. So the organization is basically a volunteer and social and cultural organization. So what is its mission? For anybody who has gone to marketing class, they know 4 P's. So we have 4 P's too. So what are those? Those 4 P's are, we want to preserve and protect our dharmic traditions, which have been coming for ages, so that we can pass it on to next generation. They can pass it on to the next generation. And we want to practice and promote our dharma. So what we offer to the other faiths, what we offer as a faith-based organization, what we offer to the humanity. So that's what we want to do, our organization does. So how do we do this? So there are multiple ways we do that, right? So throughout the US, we have 171 branches, what we call them as shakhas. It's a Sanskrit word for a branch. Think of it as a massive oak tree with 171 branches across US. So each branch meets them once a week. So they have typical 90-minute activities. Those activities spawns to stimulate your child's as well as adults' physical well-being as well as spiritual well-being. So why do we do that? We want to build a well-rounded and empathetic children who can lead us in the future. And another thing we kind of try to instill the pride of identity, our Hindu identity. So you might ask, right? We are all Americans, majority of our citizens, why that Hindu identity, right? Would the identity cause a conflict? Would the identity cause a tension? There are certain identities which do that. And the reason they do that is they have exclusivity to them. The reason they have exclusivity is because For me to believe you, I cannot be validated. So that exclusivity means, for my religion to be valid, your religion cannot be valid. Or my faith to be valid, your faith cannot be valid. And that causes a lot of tension. So when I go to a lot of these interfaith organizations, the first thing I talk about is this exclusivity. Basically that causes a lot of tolerance. They say, you know what, at the maximum we can tolerate you. Tolerate is a very patronizing term, right? All it says is, you know what, I don't believe you what you're doing, but I'll put up with you. Luckily, Hinduism does not have that problem. We actually in there to mutually respect each other's faiths. That's what our goal is to. That's as a dharmic, traditional-based or faith-based organization, that's what we offer to the society we live in. So what we do on a weekly basis to instill that in our children, so that when they see another faith-based, they have an empathy, they have a mutual respect to another individual. So if anything else, I want you to kind of take that away from this whole event, right? So that's in general what our organization does. I know that we do a lot of things. We actually work within the community. We do a lot of service-based work, where we have done and actually packed meals for the hungry kids. We have clean moon trails. I mean, the idea behind it is we are all blessed with so much in our life. We want to give it back. And the better way to give it back than basically doing service without expecting anything in return. And that is enrooted in our Hindu dharmic traditions. So we want to instill that in our children. So we practice that. Then I talked about how many branches we have across the country. So in Indianapolis itself, we have 5 branches. There's one in CARMEL, there's one in Columbus, Indiana. As we speak, a similar event is happening there, where we have invited quite a few teachers. They are going through the same process. So in a nutshell, that's what our organization is all about. Then coming back to this program, right? So this Guru Vandana program is very unique way in which only Hindus who does reverence, the amount of respect and reverence shown to the teachers. So today, actually, your kids will take you through the journey of India. As I said, various cultural programs, dance events, and instruments playing. You get a small glimpse of what our ancient old traditions are. Okay? That being said, I don't want to take up too much of your time and bore you to death. So welcome you all. Thanks for taking time off on a Sunday afternoon to attend this. It means a world to our kids, and I know you mean a world to them too, because you are the mentors. You instill a lot of their inquisitiveness and their curiosity in learning things. So I hope you continue to do that, enrich somebody's skill. You are a role model. So thank you again. Thank you. And welcome.
Namaste everybody. We are starting our program with a Vedic prayer. In any Hindu ritual, in every program, it's always started with a Vedic prayer. Our kids today are going to be chanting some shlokas to God Ganesha, Lord Ganesha, and Goddess Saraswati, and of course to the Gurus. Salutations to the reverential teacher who revealed to us the unfragmented, infinite truth which pervades the entire universe, and to the teacher who opened our eyes, blinded by ignorance. Guru is the creator, sustainer, and the destroyer, and is the timeless life principle. We offer our salutations to the glorious one.
Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakareshu Sarvada Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Akhandamandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Chalacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Ajnanatimirandasya ज्ञानाचलाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरु विष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः।
Up next to the song Mile Sur Mera Tumhara. Mile Sur Mera Tumhara literally translates to Our Melodies Meet. This song is an ode to the land of myriad cultures, languages, lifestyles, and faiths, India. Additionally, this song underscores the importance of lasting unity in diversity, represented by same verse being sung in 14 different Indian languages. Here's Mile Sur Mera Tumhara, sung by Advaita Yame, Ananya Yame, Isha Singh, and me, Akshay Pramana.
मिले सुर मेरा तुम्हारा तो सुर बने हमारा। सुर की नदियाँ हर दिशा से बहती सागर में मिले। बादलों का रूप लेकर बरसे हल्के हल्के। तेरा सुर मिले मेरे सुर दे नाल मिलके बने सुर नवा सुल्तान। मिले सुर मेरा तुम्हारा तो सुर बने हमारा।
मंजर सुर तो देसा प्यारा मिले जवे गीत साजो मधुर तरानो बने तड़े।
सुर का दरिया बेटे सागर में मिले बदला रूप लेके परसन होले होले।
इसैदानम इरुवरिन सुरम नमदागुम दिसै वेरानानम आरिसै आरगल मुखिलाय मरयाय परिवदपो isai nam isai nanna dhvaniya serante namma dhvaniya na surmuni surmu sangamame mana swarga avatari unche ninde swaramam ningalude swaramam otu charunam mude swaramai tomar shor moder shor srishti koror koi koshor tomar shur moder shur srishti koru koi koshor srishti koru koi kotha tamo moro swarna milan srishti kare chal bachatana male surjo taro maro bane apna sura niralo maja tumcha julta tara madhur siraja baras ki tara सुर की नदियाँ हर दिशा से बहके सागरा में मिली। बादलों का रूप लेके बरसे
presenting Nitya Sandari. Nitya Sandari is a freshman in CARMEL High School. Be prepared to be amazed by the contributions India made to mathematics we know and use today.
Namaste. Today I will be talking about the contributions that India made to the mathematical world. Next slide. So India is known for a few contributions such as the concept of pi, the concept of zero, the basics of algebra, trigonometry, and then also the rules that come with negative numbers, and also the basics of the number system. Next slide. A few influential people who were key to India's contributions include Srinivas Ramanujan, who pioneered the discoveries for the property function, which is now used in statistical physics. Then we have Brahmagupta. He found the cube roots of an integer. Next we have Mahavira, who learned how to reduce fractions, and he also included problems that included the quadratic and linear equation. Next we have Bhaskara II. Same slide, yeah. Next we have Bhaskara II, who used the decimal number system. And then we have Madhava Sangarama, who named pi to 11 decimal places. And then finally we have Aryabhatta, who named the decimal places, so like tens, thousands, hundreds. Next slide. So around 590 to 600 CE, Brahmagupta, who is an astrologist and a mathematician, discovered a few major concepts for algebra. These include the concept for zero, so 1 minus 0 equals 1, 1 times 0 equals 0, and 1 plus 0 equals 0. And then also he found out the negative number rule, so if you multiply two negatives, they equal a positive. And finally, he discussed that quadratic problems are going to have two solutions, and one is going to be negative. Next slide. Furthermore, he also used the basics of algebra to find unknown variables. So he would use the initials of colors, and then that's how we would find the unknown variables. Now we use them as like X or N or any letter. Next slide. So the next one is Aryabhatta, who is also another astrologist and physician. And around 476 CE, he found how to do the square and cube roots of a number by dividing them. Next slide. And then during the time of the Vedas, which was around 1500 to 1200 CE, the big and small numbers were defined. So they were defined by Talakshana, which is how big they are, and Kala, how small they were. And in the mantras of the Vedas, it discusses how the powers of 10 all the way up to 1 trillion. Next slide. And then also around 400 CE, there's a text called the Surya Siddhanta, which discusses the basics of trigonometry, so sine, cosine, tangent, secant, and all that. And then finally, next slide. India was also known to do the basics of arithmetic, so multiplication, division, subtraction, and addition, all during this time. And this was also before the Greek and Romans, but because there was a lot of trade, that's probably how the Greek and Romans also got it to them. So these are just a few highlights on India's contributions to mathematics. Thank you.
Our next presenter is Advaita Yami. She is a 6th grader at Clay Middle School. She will be informing us about being healthy by using a method of Ayurveda. She'll also be talking about Indian cuisine in terms of the correct body type and correct type of food. So, is anyone ready to be healthy? Give it up for Advaita Yami. My name is Advaita Yami. Indian cuisine. The cuisine of India is one of the world's most diverse cuisines, and the diversity of its food is diverse as its people, and it is as easy to explain. History. The history of Indian cuisine goes all the way back to 7000 BC, when sesame, cattle, and eggplant were first introduced. Around 3000 BC, the spices turmeric, cardamom, pepper, and mustard were first used because of the trade between Asia and Europe. The spices that I just named are especially prevalent in Indian cooking today. When invasions and new immigrants came, they also brought along tomatoes, chilies, and potatoes, which became staples of India's diet. Influence. One of the greatest influences happened around 2nd century BC. The powerful and turned benevolent Emperor Ashoka popularized a vegetarian cuisine. Two other individuals that also popularized a vegetarian cuisine is Mahavir Jain and Gautam Buddha. North Indian cuisine has been influenced by the Middle Eastern and the Central Asian during the time of the Mughal rule. Region cooking style. Region, religion, and culture choices make up a large portion of Indian food. Indian cuisine is majorly categorized into 5 types: North Indian, South Indian, East Indian, West Indian, and Northeastern Indian. Each section or region has its own distinct cooking style. Meal etiquette. Eating with your hands is considered important in India because a person eating with their hands will know the exact temperature of their food. Usually, Indians do not use their left hand to eat. Traditionally, meals are served while either sitting on the floor or on a low stool or cushion. Traditional serving styles vary from region to region. A universal presentation is a thali, which is a large plate with samplings of different vegetable curries, accompanied by rice or bread, such as naan, roti, and puri. And I think puri is what we might have on our menu today. In South India, a clean banana leaf is often used as a hygienic alternative to a plate. The biodegradable banana leaf is said to have traces of magnesium and zinc, which also have additional health benefits. Beverage. Surprisingly, drinking a beverage is not polite when eating a meal in India. The most common beverage is tea. The finest tea is found in the city of Darjeeling, in the state Assam. Another popular drink is served in South India is coffee. Other popular drinks are lassi and chach. Lassi, which is nuts and cardamom mixed in with milk, and chach, which is made from yogurt. Some examples of alcohol beverages are palm wine, bani, bhang, and Indian beer. And drinking an alcohol beverage with a meal is not as common either. People prefer to consume drinking water with their food, and it is customary to offer drinking water to guests before serving hot or cold drinks. Medical value. Traditional Indian meals include carbohydrates, proteins, fats, and fibers, all which are elements that you need for a balanced diet. Indian cooking uses spices like turmeric, ginger, garlic, and green chilies, all which have medicinal and healing properties. These spices used in dishes are good for the body, and they don't just taste good. Yogurt is often used in Indian food, and foods made from fermented milk keep the digestive tract healthy, thanks to the good bacteria that they contain. They're also packed with calcium, which eating them regularly can help you from gaining excess body fat, and it can help prevent insulin resistance, which is often a precursor to both diabetes and coronary heart disease. Cooking as science. Food in India is about rasas and doshas. Taste, or rasa in Sanskrit, guides the tongue, and it is a balance or imbalance of these rasas that cause or correct the doshas in the body. In short, whatever one eats is to believe the cause and cure of all ailments. Thus, food has been as much as art and as science in our culture. Indian food is said to be based off of 6 kinds of taste or rasas: sweet, salty, sour, pungent, bitter, and astringent. A proper Indian meal is said to have a balance of all these flavors, with one or two standing out. Sweet. The sweet taste gives strength to the tissue elements. It is good for nourishment and it harmonizes the mind. A common source for this taste is mango, sugarcane, and bananas. Some benefits that it has on the body is it helps reduce weakness and lack of energy. Some negatives that it has is it causes obesity and diabetes. The sour taste stimulates the digestive fires and enzymes. It also cleans tissues and increases absorption of the minerals. A common source for this taste is lemon and oranges. Some benefits that it has on the body is it helps in digestion and it helps fuel the appetite. Some negatives that it has is it causes high blood pressure. Salt. The salty taste stimulates digestion and improves taste to the food. A common source for this taste is sea salt. Benefits that it has on the body is it promotes growth and it helps muscle strength and it also maintains water electrolyte balance. Some negatives that it has on the body is it causes skin issues and acidity. Pungent. The taste pungent stimulates digestion and metabolism. A common source for this taste is cumin, black pepper, and ginger. Some benefits that it has on the body is it helps cure the cholesterol, diabetes, and lethargy. But some negatives is it causes skin issues and dizziness. Bitter. The bitter taste helps detoxification of the body and lights the tissue. A common source for this taste is neem and lemonade. Some benefits that it has on the body is it helps cure skin issues and obesity. But some negatives is that it causes dryness, weakness, and body pains. Astringent. The taste astringent helps absorb water, it tightens the tissue, and it dries the fats. Common source for this taste is spinach, lentils, and pomegranate. Some benefits that it has on the body is it helps prevent heavy bleeding, but some negatives are it causes dry mouth and bloating. Ayurveda. Ayur means life, and Veda means studies. Has laid a foundation to the basic style of cooking in India, as early as the Indus Valley civilization. Ayurveda shows the power of lifestyle, how to promote longevity, avoids diseases, and live intelligently. Observing daily rituals maximizes your energy, reduces stress, and enhances self-awareness, and allows you to live life to your fullest potential. 3 doshas of Ayurveda. The doshas are biological energies found throughout the human mind and body. The 3 doshas are Kapha, Vata, and Pitta. Kapha, primary elements composed of earth and water. Vata, primary element composed of space and air. And Pitta, a primary element composed of fire and water. Pitta body, which symbolizes thermal energy. Pitta characteristics is oily, sharp, hot, light, spreading, and liquid. So eating foods that neutralize these qualities are dry, mild, cooling, grounding, and stabilizing, and dense, serve to balance the excess Pitta. Some tastes that are compatible to the body is sweet, bitter, and astringent. And some tastes that have the opposite effect are pungent, sour, and salty. About the body, which symbolizes kinetic energy. Vata characteristics is cool, dry, rough, and light. So eating foods that neutralize these qualities are warm, moist, oily, and smooth, and nourishing. Can help to balance the excess Vata. Some tastes that are suitable to the body is sweet, sour, and salty. And some tastes that are not are pungent, bitter, and astringent. Kapha body. Kapha characteristics is heavy, cooling, oily, smooth. So eating foods that neutralize these qualities are light, warm, dry. can help balance the excess kapha. Some tastes that are suitable to the body are pungent, bitter, and astringent. Some tastes that have an opposite effect on the body are sweet, sour, and salty. Summary. From east to west and north to south, Indian cuisine seems to be only united by its locals. Ayurvedic teaching exhorts to follow a pure lifestyle, one that gives clarity and peace of mind. Physical purity involves a wholesome diet with emphasis on a row of freshly cooked vegetarian food, pure air, water, proper exercise, like yoga. Purity of the mind involves non-violence, friendliness, and compassion, and all of earning a living that does not bring harm to others and provides a service to humanity. There's another, questions.
Okay. Maybe they'll taste the food at the last.
There's another slide. Thank you.
Great. The next event that you guys are going to be watching is called a Bhangra dance. A Bhangra dance is a traditional Indian dance that is originated in Punjab, which is a state in India. It's a lively kind of folk dance, and it blends in with kind of a Western style, and it kind of gives you a beat that you can't sit idle to. I bet you guys can't stay sitting. So be ready for Sirish, Shritan, Shaurya, Athreya, Mihir, Krish, Akshay, Rajiv, and Rishi to come up and give you the dance of your lifetime.
I know.
Mr. Wesley Drew, Mrs. Jennifer Mayer, Mr. Jeff Frizzy, Mrs. Jane Teeter, Mrs. Nikki Rash, Mrs. Hannah Luperini, Master Jean Pierre Descarden, Miss Gabriela Mendoza, Miss Lisa, Mrs. Steffi McCord, Mrs. Schiff. I'll call the students' names: Krish, Advaita, Asini, Nityamurti, Akshatul Mandla, Sirish, Reva Peddi, Rishik Peddi, Shritan Sandari, Aditya Mamadipalli, Ananya Yame, Isha Singh, Nitya Sandari, Rajiv Singh, and Shreya Rao. Children, please stand behind the teacher if you have taken teacher's blessings. Thank you, everyone. Mr. Chris Bartley, Mr. Josh Paul, Mr. Mark Ellington, Mrs. Josie McKay, Mr. Neil, Mrs. Schiff again for Mrs. Weimer, Mrs. Natalie, Mrs. Krista Harrison, Mr. Scott Cunningham, Miss Mary Lynn Hackman, Miss Susan Foyle, Mrs. Jennifer Carson, Mr. Love, and Mr. Joe Lee one more time.
ఒక్క నిమిషం వస్తున్నా ఒక్క నిమిషం
The students' names again: Krish, Advaita, Asini, Nityamurti, Akshay, Sirish, Reva, Rishik, Shritan, Aditya, Mamadipalli, Ananya, Isha, Nitya Sandari, Rajiv, and Shreya Rao.
Meher, please come on the dais.
I apologize if I haven't called out any of the teachers' names. Please come onto the dais at this time.
When we started this program, as I said, 4 years ago, we had 15 students. 2 years ago that went to 22, now we're at 40. So again, thanks a bunch for making this as a special day for our children and continue to inspire them.
For some of you, or most of you, it's probably a new experience. For some of you, you're seasoned now. If you could please let us know how you felt about it, that would be great. You can say it was shocking, nervous, Do we have some mics back there? If you could please step up here and say a few words about how you felt today, that would be great. It'll make us really happy.
We know the names, we can follow them.
Hello, my name's Jill Shipp. I'm the principal at Prairie Trace, and I am not a newcomer. I was here last year, and it is a beautiful, amazing ceremony that lets us as educators have a glimpse inside of your children's lives outside of the classroom. And to open up and share this with us is very personal, and it gives us an opportunity to see your children in many different lenses. So thank you for sharing your beautiful families and traditions with us.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gabriela Mendoza, and I'm a Spanish 2 teacher at CARMEL High School. I'm really happy to be here today. I brought my mom and my sister, so I could also share with them just the beautiful culture, the dance, the food, which we're about to try soon. Everything was amazing. Thank you so much for having us, and we look forward to your children in our classrooms. They're amazing. Thank you.
My name is Anu Gamet, and I'm a Kumon instructor. And I think this is a beautiful, beautiful, what should I call it, celebration to give their respect, love, and show us the talents outside the math, reading, and other subjects that we do in school. So I think this is a very, very beautiful program of showing the culture and how in India, no matter, where we are in the British school system, or Catholic or Christian, we always remember that we are Hindus and we have to follow the dharma that we have learned in our school, at home, and in our temples. So this is a very, very promising. I've been in Indianapolis for 46 years, and I just joined this group this year, and to see the amazing knowledge and everything that the parents have taught at home, that these children are so brave to share that knowledge and their experience in the American culture, and inviting the teachers. I think this is a major step in 2018, and I'm just so proud of our children. And I wish them the very best. We call it the Ashirwadams, meaning the blessings to our children. And thank you for participating and encouraging our children. We appreciate it.
Hi, my name is Master Jean-Pierre Descarden, and I teach martial art at the JCC. Actually, 3 of the young people here are my students, Akshay, Adwaita, and Ananya. And I'm very honored to be here among you. I'm very happy to share your culture. That's a wonderful culture. And as you know, we are really, in martial art, we're very much geared on respect and honor. And I actually teach my students that even though they have to respect black belts in class, they also have many other black belts in life, that parents are black belts in raising their children. Teachers are black belts in education, and so on. So I hope that they are proud, and they should be proud of their parents and their educators. And I think that we should all be very proud and happy as educators to have something to give to them that hopefully they can grow up with and become very, very good, very successful adults. Thank you.
I'm Scott Cunningham. I'm a teacher of a different sort. I'm a den leader and a past cub master. So I have a ditya in my den where we teach self-reliance and many other traits, including reverence. And it is for me, such an honor to be recognized as an educator in that regard. And I just want to take the opportunity to say to all of the performers, the dancers, the musicians, and everybody who had speaking parts, thank you so very much. It made me miss my time in Hyderabad, so it was like I was traveling back. So thank you very much. It's a distinct honor. Thank you.
My name is Jason Love. I'm a science teacher at CARMEL Middle School. It's a pleasure to be here. It was very educational, and as far as how it felt, it was very uncomfortable at times. But I push my students to try uncomfortable experiences, and that's the only way we can learn. And as we heard in the opening statement, that's the only way that we can move from tolerance to respect. So thank you for hosting this.
Hi, my name is Angela Snyder, and I am a teacher at Creekside Middle School. And I just wanted to take a minute to say thank you to the parents, because thank you for supporting education, for wanting to bring out the best in your children. We feel it all the time, and we feel the support that you send to us. This is just like the icing on the cake of saying thank you to us for what we're doing. And we just love feeling that team support for your child, and we love seeing that you want to bring out the best in them and that you want us to know a little bit more about who they are. I hated having to miss this last year, so I'm just so excited to be here today and to experience this firsthand. So I really felt honored today, and I think that many of us did also. So thanks again for what you do for your children and for helping us do a better job of bringing out the best in them.
Hi, I'm Lisa Letterock. I'm the principal at Cumberland Road Elementary, right around the corner. And I was extremely honored and moved to be here today, as I was to be invited by Reva and Rashik. So thank you so much for having all of us here today. I think our job is always to think about the global perspective that we want our children to understand all the way from head to toe. And so being able to be here and think about food and dance and all the other parts, the religion, the language, that all of those things made me feel extremely pleased to be here, and it's probably the best part of my whole month, I have to say. So thank you for having me.
My name is Cheryl Gannon. I've been doing Kumon for the last 25 years, 26 years. And Chris has been one of the wonderful students we have. Chris Jarrett, who started with me with just adding numbers. And then he has finished all fractions, integration, differentiation, trigonometry, at about 14 levels he has done. He's done a wonderful job. I do want to recognize him today. And he's a very good, wonderful student. We're going to hear a lot about him in the future, because he is really focused and he learns quickly, and he's able to apply those knowledge very nicely. Thank you very much, and I appreciate that.
It's a humbling experience to be here. I'm with sharing here teachers. My name is Neil Ogle. I teach 7th grade social studies at Riverside Junior High School. And I want to thank Nithya and her family for inviting us, and we really appreciate that. I've got other teachers here as well. But the validation that you spoke of is extremely important. Our class teaches all religions in the world, and Hinduism and all others are of equal value, and we are just really appreciative of the fact that I live in a country, even though it's an imperfect country, that we accept, and we should accept everyone. So thank you again for inviting us, and I am so much appreciative of that.
Todd Crosby, principal, Clay Middle School. I know we have several educators here from CARMEL Clay Schools, but I think as much as we take from these educational moments, we want to thank you as well. Obviously, you send your students to our schools ready each and every day, and I was delighted to be able to be here, and it was an educational experience for me, and it makes me so proud to be part of CARMEL Clay Schools, and also just the kind of parents and in your traditions and the children that we get each and every day. So thank you very, very much for being part of this.
Thank you so so much, everybody. At this point, we will have to wrap up this part of the ceremony because we're kind of short on time. So if you could all take your seats. Thank you. With every single person volunteered and they shouldered their responsibilities, some of them without even asking. Not just here, we had enlisted help from overseas too. So people in India also contributed to making this program possible. Some honorable mentions here are Isha Bemra. She is a junior and in Indiana University, Bloomington. So she's a student, she has a job, and she chose to drive all the way from Bloomington to Carmel just so that that band, that coach, what could be possible today for all of you. And of course, no one is more busier than a mom. And we have two moms who deserve some special mention here. One of them is Geeta Ji, who was responsible for putting together Mile Sur, all the 13 languages of India singing the same verse. So an applause for Geeta Ji. And the flavors of India are never complete without dances. All the 3 dances were choreographed by one single person, Usha Ji. So just before we could move on to the food, I would like to offer that we conduct a lot of seminars to educate and widen horizons for people. So if there's any opportunity you're interested, curious to know more about our dharma, we are more than happy to come and present a seminar at your schools, for your students, for your teachers. The other thing is we never leave anybody behind when it comes to fitness. And therefore we have a 2-week yogathon, which is a marathon of sun salutations. Sun salutations is a dynamite packet of 12 yoga poses for your entire mind, for entire body and your mind. So if you're interested in learning it, you don't want to run, you don't want to lift weights, you just want to do yoga, we're more than happy to come and teach you and your students at your school how to perform Surya Namaskar or sun salutations. And lastly, before I can invite you to enjoy the dish, there are 2 tables to your right. First one has some information, a lot of artifacts that represent many features of India. Please take time to go to enjoy it. And there's the table on the farther side that has some complimentary stuff shipped specially for all of you from India. So if you want, feel free to grab something from the table, go for it. And lastly, once again, thank you so much for honoring us today in return. And there's a buffet of food right assembled at the back end. If you can please get the.
So just to keep this in order, I think we'll just call row 1, row 2, and then you guys come over and then come back to your seat and have food.